everyone. It's Dr. Michelle Lloyd, just stepping in for just a bit because, of course, a date is quickly approaching, and that day, of course, is graduation. It will be occurring for many here within the next few months, and so I continue to, I'm sure you can imagine, have lots of conversations with mothers, with our last one, of course, being our most recent one being, of course, this past Sunday in my church parking lot. Whereas, of course, there was some concerns about a teen in the household, and so I just wanted to jump in for just a bit, just to give some thoughts as it pertains to, of course, this transitioning out of the home, and the topic that I talk about each and every week, yet I talk about it from different angles. For some of you, when high school graduation, which is approaching, it's going to be either your first teen, or it will be a subsequent teen, or it will be your last teen who's leaving the home. I just want to talk just a little bit about, as that date is approaching, and there's anxiety or emotions that's surfacing, I want to just talk about a couple of things that I would like to encourage you all to ignore, and then a couple of thoughts whereas I'd like to encourage you to implement. So ignore and implement. So the first thing I would ask you to begin ignoring or overlooking or managing, if you will, that's emotional distress. It happened even for me when my oldest daughter was transitioning out of the home in 2016. Closer to the date, I would feel emotions from time to time, because I knew that, of course, a portion of my heart was going to be left over on the East Coast. And so emotions can surface. So I would like to encourage you to begin to manage the ruminating thoughts that have a tendency to happen. Then also think about ways in which, after they have transitioned out, after their high school, that you all have already set up some type of communication schedule, so that you'll know, of course, on what day you all will be speaking. Of course, it's liable to be multiple times throughout the week, and I'm sure it could be, but at least once a week you'll want to connect with your teens, I'm sure. So setting up that communication will be important. Then something else I'm hoping that you are able to manage or control is the frustration that from time to time we mothers or fathers have a tendency to feel as it pertains to the lack of control that will take place when our teens have left home and they're on the college campus. And of course, we're unable to give advice, because of course we're on the outside of what could be going on in their lives on the college campus. And so I think that it's good that they're on that college campus, and I know that with us having less control, it allows them the time to build their confidence, first and foremost. Then also it gives them an opportunity to use their own judgment. Some decisions they make, it could be some snap judgment decisions that they'll need to decide on, and so it'll be good that it's they're having the opportunity to do that. Also, with them being away, it gives them an opportunity to step out of that role, if they were engaged in it, that role of entitlement. Because if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes we're still doing things for our teens when in all actuality they really can do it for themselves. I mean, we're still washing clothes, we're still cleaning the kitchen, we're still doing all of those things that, of course, our teens should have been doing, and then stepping in more than not in some of our households. So I know for a fact that, of course, with them being away, for a number of families, I know for mine, it was good for my daughters to grow up being able to, of course, build their own confidence and then make their own decisions. So those are just a couple of things that I want to make sure that as the time approaches, then you are more and more able to manage around that. However, there are some things that you will want to implement, and let's just be open and honest. I mean, like, it's all about making a decision that we're going to do these things. We're going to manage our frustrations and manage, of course, our emotional distress. I mean, that is just merely a decision that we need to make. And so as we're making that decision, let's go ahead and make a decision regarding some things that we'll want to implement. And the first thing we want to implement is we want to make sure that we are implementing the idea of pondering the changes that will need to take place and reinventing ourselves. I mean, we all are here for a purpose. And as our teen, again, whether it's our first teen or a subsequent teen or our last teen, we ought to be moving, if we have yet to already, closer and closer to our purpose. I mean, you know, are we here to just inhale air? Absolutely not. Let's make sure that however you have chosen to. I know mine, it's with me spending quiet time with the Master and me journaling and me meditating and seeking Him for what is my purpose here down on this earth. And my purpose is to, of course, interact with parents of teens, and that's what I'm doing right now. So if you have yet to identify your purpose and reinvent yourself into whatever your purpose to do, I would encourage you to move forward in reference to doing that. That would be a win-win for you, and it would be a win-win for your family as well. So also, as you move closer to graduation and your teen is transitioning out of the home, I would encourage you to begin improving in some areas, like, say, for instance, maybe your financial and your physical health. I mean, I was at the gym this morning at 5 a.m. and just on the elliptical and running and just trying to get this body into shape. The summer's coming, so I am trying to just go out and purchase some new clothes and all of those things. So I would encourage you to do that, as opposed to, of course, the emotional distress and frustration that our teens will be on the college campus, and there's a lack of control that we will have. I would encourage you to, again, ponder, of course, the changes and reinventing yourself, and then improving your physical and your financial health. I was excited to see that my credit score had gone up a few points, and so I would just want you to just think about those things that you need to do, because your teen is going to be prepared. I mean, it's so interesting how the schools, I mean, we have the guidance counselors, they just take them all throughout the day. The whole year is planned for your junior or for your senior. So they, of course, and I'm sure you'll want to consult and you'll want to advise along the way, but they're on their way. And so it's like, what is it that I need to do to make sure that I am prepared for them transitioning out of the home? I would make sure that I concentrate on that. Did I do it when my eldest transitioned out? I did not, and that's why I found myself on my prayer closet floor right over there, just wailing, thinking, she's all the way in Virginia. What in the world did we just do? So that's why I'm on here, just to drop some tips and toss some gems as it pertains to what parents can do prior to their teen transition out, just so that when you have dropped your teen off on the college campus, that you're able to, will you still feel emotions? Absolutely. But if you prepare before you drop them off, guess what? You will be able to walk away with a level of confidence, a level of competence, a level of consciousness, and of course a calmness that will take you a long way. So listen, those are just, again, a couple of tips I want to toss and a couple of gems that I want to drop for those parents of you who are approaching your teen's high school graduation before they transition out of the home. Whether they're going off to the college campus or the military base, or it could be just right down the street, maybe getting ready to pay rent in an apartment or purchasing a home. It could simply be residential independence, but nonetheless, if they're leaving out of your home, of course, there'll be some emotions that surface, emotions that I struggled with, but I want to make sure that you are able to have a handle on that. Listen, I want to share this with you before I, of course, conclude this call and conclude this live. I'm, of course, live on Facebook and then also on Instagram, but there is going to be a transition success coaching program that will take place. The doors will be open for that on April the 13th. Which is a Thursday, and I would love you all to participate. I have created, if you will, coaching calls that will be set up and also a whole curriculum for those parents who have teens who are transitioning out of the home. So if you know of anyone who has a high school junior or senior who may be feeling some level of anxiety now that their teen is getting ready to graduate, or you could have a junior or know someone who has a high school junior, and of course next year will be their teen's year, then of course let them know that April 13th there will be a webinar, and I will just tell all about a program that I just created that will help them to be able to prepare for that teen's transition. So listen, thank you all so very much. I love you all. Take care. Have a good week, and I will see you all back here next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm Dr. Michelle Lloyd, and I appreciate the time y'all have taken to listen to me. Take care. Bye.